In this video, let us learn about the break and continue statements in Java. So first, let us understand the break statement. If you recall, we learned about the break statement in the video where we covered the switch case statement. There we discussed that to come out of the switch case, once a particular case gets executed, we make use of the break statement. So let us understand the break statement in context of loops. So let us quickly create a for loop that runs 10 times. So let me first copy this line to separate our previous code from the current code, and let us write a loop that runs 10 times. So for integer I as 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, so let me change this name to k. Now suppose that you want to break when k becomes equals to 2. So you can say if k is 2, let us break out of the for loop. And let us also print something within the code block. So system.out.println Java tutorials and print the current value of k. So let us give this a whirl. So Java C basics.java and Java basics. So you can see we are getting 0 and 1. So let us understand the output that we get step by step. When Java sees this for loop, first it will execute this statement. It initializes k to a value of 0. Then Java evaluates this boolean expression or condition. If this condition comes out to be true, then the body of the for loop gets executed. So the very first thing that we check in the body of the for loop is that whether k is equals to 2. If it is so, then we break out of the for loop, else we print Java tutorials along with the current value of k. Now at the end of the first iteration, the control moves right here and k gets incremented by 1. So now the current value of k is equal to 1. Again we check whether k is equal to 2, which is not the case, so we again print Java tutorials along with the current value of k, which is 1. Now at the end of this iteration, k will get incremented by 1. Now k is equal to 2, so we immediately break out of the for loop, and the statement right after the for loop gets executed. So when Java sees a break statement in a for loop, then it will ignore everything else that is present after the break keyword, and the control will immediately come out from the loop. So now we know what a break statement is. Let us move forward to the second part of the video to understand about the continue statement. So continue statement. So what is a continue statement? A continue statement is a statement that abandons the current iteration and starts a new iteration. Now there are scenarios when we want to skip the current iteration of a loop, so for that we can make use of the continue statement. So let us understand this with the help of an example. So let us create a for loop that goes from 0 to 10. So for integer m as 0, m less than 10, m plus plus. Now what we want to do here is that when m becomes equal to 2, we want to abandon the current iteration and start with the next iteration. So we can say continue. Otherwise, for all of the values of m, we can print Java tutorials along with the current value of m. So let us give this a whirl before we understand the final output. So here is our output. Now let us understand this. Now when Java sees this for loop, first it will execute this statement. It initializes m to a value of 0. Then Java evaluates this boolean expression which says 0 less than 10, which is true. So we make into the body of the for loop. So first m is 0 and we directly execute the print statement Java tutorials and print the current value of m, which is 0. Next m gets incremented by 1, so the new value of m becomes 1. We print Java tutorials 1. Next again m will get incremented by 1, so now the m value becomes 2. Now at this point we want to skip the current iteration, that is we don't want to print the output for m2 and instead move to the next iteration, which is m3. So here in the output you can see we are getting 0, 1, but we are not getting for m2 because for m2 we abandoned the current iteration and we moved to the next iteration for which m is 3, and from there onwards we keep on printing Java tutorials and the current value of m. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now when m becomes 10, the boolean expression resolves to false and the body of the for loop doesn't get executed thereafter. So we get all the numbers from 0 to 9 except 2, because when m was 2, we decided to skip the iteration corresponding to M2 by using the continue keyword or continue statement to start the next iteration. So this was all I wanted to cover in this video. If you liked the video, do give it a thumbs up or comment down below if you have any query. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's catch up in the very next one.